Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while, but I want to go ahead and show you how I do things. So for example, if I open my application here on the left side, you notice that I have categories here, right? So the way I have these categories is these are two different accounts. So you notice I have categories on this page, but if I go to this particular page, I don't have any category. So that's why you see when you try to create a new event here, I have no categories because I'm doing a search query. So what's happening is every time I want to add a category, I have a field called owner, which grabs the ID of this particular user, right? So on the categories, I have an owner, which is the ID of this user. So now when I'm doing a query from the backend here, when doing events, you notice that I'm using a query which has where owner is equals to the ID of this particular user. So what we want to do is, the way I allow events to happen is you have to have a category for you to create an event, right? So what you need to do is we need to force the user to create a category first before they can create an event. Now, how do we do that? So how we're going to do that is we need to check whether this user has categories by the time we come to this particular page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an endpoint. Come here and create an endpoint. I'm going to use components data here, and I'm going to call it has categories, right? Okay, so we can have it like that, and I'm going to say select count. So we're going to say select count. So we want to count everything here, and you want to say from categories where ID, where owner is equals to user ID, right? So this user ID, we just need to change this parameter here to be user ID like that, right? Now the value here needs to be a parameter, which is going to be rec.params.uid, right? So now at the top here, we now need to pass this param which we just created here. So we're just going to call this uid like that. So we want to pass this select count as total, so that this comes back as a formatted JSON, right? So that being done, we can copy this the way it is, and we go to our events add page design here, and I'm going to create a function here. So I'm going to say const totals is equals to ref. All right, then then let's pass in to try and get this response back from here. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say I want to grab this and paste it in here. But now remember, we need to pass the ID of this user. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to just pass this in here, and at the end here we need to pass the ID of the user. So we're going to put this variable inside a string, and I'm going to say out.user.id. so this is how we get the user of the ID of the logged in user from the logged in session. So this will not work unless you have login authentication setup. So that being done, we have totals here. So I'm going to grab these totals and I'm going to put it here. Okay, and publish this. But before you publish, I need to kind of just maybe display the total here. So I'm just going to add this header for now, and I want to do totals. I think that's it, right? So if I come to custom JavaScript here, totals, yep, yes. So when we publish this, we should see totals at the top here of this add page here. So if we reload this, oh, one more thing, we need to handle when we need this function to be executed when the page loads. So we are going to get our mounted and put it here. Then we need to rename this and maybe say get get categories. Alright, so we can copy this and just replace this here. Click on OK and publish. So this should give us the total here at the top. So you notice at the top now we have the total, which is 0. And if we come back here to, if we go to this one, this guy already has categories. So if we go to events, you notice we have 7 categories. So what we need to do is we want to now force this guy to enter the totals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a new custom view, right? So this custom view, the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to put it here. And I have a way that I show messages in case this guy doesn't have records, like you can see here. So I just want to grab this and use it instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. Let me go to where I created this. This is in the events page, events list. So I'm just going to copy this where I put it here, right there, and I'm going to go to the add page, design, and I'm going to paste it here. So so this, instead of this, now I'm going to change this to categories. All right, so then right below here I can say, let me see, okay, so I can tell this guy that you need to create a category first before you continue. So you can come here and say right below here and tell this guy span class is equals to you need to create a category first before creating an event, right? So we have that. So now if we publish this, then we go to events, add. We now have this one at the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is I just want to make this container fluid, just container. So it just floats there like that. So now we need this to be displayed in case this guy has no categories, right? So if you click on this, it should take us to the categories. All right, so if we come back here and go to create event, we're going to use conditional visibilities. So now remember, we have our totals here, right? So I'm going to come back here, go to the first one, which is this, and we are going to go to tag attributes. So we want to hide this whole section, and you're going to go to the if, and you're going to say if totals dot, now total, remember this is a totals variable we pasted here. If you go back to the top, here, you notice we are using totals, but now this is a value that we returned from our query. So we're going to say if totals, so if totals dot total, okay, so this is an array, so you want to do 0 because it's only returning 1. 0 dot total is greater than 0. Sorry, we don't need to use if statement, so we just do if total is greater than 0, right? So we publish this. This should only show if it's greater than 0. So if you come back to go to the page of this guy who has it, you should notice that this is showing and also this is showing. So now we need to hide this when the categories are more than greater than 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back here and on the tag attributes, we are going to copy this, and you're going to come now to this section, and you're going to say our tag attribute is going to be if total is less than 1. So if it's less than 1, then this should show. Alright, so if now we go back to this, you notice that we no longer see it. So now when this guy comes in, they have no category, you tell them you need to create a category first before you create an event. and then they can create it, then they can come back here. So if I can go back here and I create a category, and I'm going to call it example cut, submit, then I want to go and create an event. This should be, remember this is a single page, so categories, let me see. Yeah, I have an example category there, create an event. All right, so this should work. So let me just check categories. So let me just check something here. And now, so I can go to categories. Yeah, so the issue that we're having here is that when you create this category, it's not adding the owner ID. So that might be an issue from my end. So what I'm going to do is I just need to ensure that when you create a category, the owner ID is the ID of the logged in user. So you can make this a text box here, and the default value should be user ID. Submit. And you create a category, there you go, should have that. So I can now hide this, make it hidden. Right, so if I come back here, sorry, one more thing. Okay, so it seems like hidden is not really doing it. Anyway, I'll figure that out, but you can just use it. It's not a big issue that should prevent you from hiding it. So it's most likely some issue with my configuration. So now if I create a new category and I say demo cards like that, now this guy has another category attached to him. So if I go to events and create a new one, you now see that we can now go ahead and create a category without a problem. So that will be it. See you in the next video. But now remember, we have a Patreon course, RAD system course. If you need to learn how to make chat applications and real-time applications to your RAD apps, and maybe make them into mobile apps, you can hop into the Patreon and find the course there. You'll also be able to find other free stuff you'll be getting there. So make sure you try and check it out. If you like the video, leave a like. In case of any questions, let me know in the comments. So bye.